Hi Kate, it's Chris again. This is video number 4 for you, and last time we talked about the C chords, and I want you to learn these songs at your own pace, and just kind of take your time and don't be frustrated with what you don't know. And when you're playing these, kind of keep your fingers cuffed like this, okay? And when you're playing, always kind of keep a straight posture when you're sitting up, because a lot of times if you're bending over and when you practice, it causes fatigue and it causes you to get tired easy. So always in your practice, sit up straight and always keep your fingers cupped when you're playing, okay? Alright, last time we talked about the C chord and we talked about going to the F. We actually ran over a couple songs, which was I Fly Away and Are You Washing the Blood. I believe we were using basically the same chords from the C to the F, and from the C to that G. And we also learned this chord right here, which was an A minor. Basically what you're doing is just bring your pinky over a whole step. Okay? I want to show you on this segment, I want to maybe run over Amazing Grace and kind of run over why a scale is what it is, like the C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and why is it that those notes are played, and how come it comes in those spaces, okay? In the beginning, this right here, the scale, C scale, this is C scale, of course, that I mentioned before, and they're all white notes, okay? Now this is the only scale that is all white notes, okay? The C scale is the only scale that have all white notes. All the other scale has at least one black note, so just keep in mind, this is why people start out in this key of C, because it's easier to play, because you're playing the C, which is all white notes, a lot of times, and you're playing the F, which is all white notes, and the G is all white notes, okay? So when you're switching like this, from that 1 to 4, 1 to 5, it's all white notes. Even when you went to that A minor, that was all white notes, okay? I want to maybe teach you Amazing Grace and then get into why the scale is what it is. Let's go over Amazing Grace, and basically we're going to use the F, the C chord, the F chord, back to the C chord, and go to the G chord, and we're going to use the A minor still in this. And what I'll probably do is introduce you to the D minor, which is this right here, okay? And what you're going to be doing is basically going from the C to the F, back to the C, to that G change, see that G note, which is then back to the C, which is 1, then the F chord, which is the 4, then back to the 1, then playing that A minor, which is a 6, then playing that 1 again, then play the 5, 1. So basically Amazing Grace is like Amazing Grace, see how sweet, see the F, because the F change does sound, see that's saved. Now that's a G, that's a A minor, see that, save a wretch, that C chord, like me, and then goes to the G, see that pinky, I want, see that thumb, tells you to see, was lost, but now, see all this space right here, look at your middle finger, that tells you that's the F chord, because it's the F note, I found, that's the C chord, was blind, okay, you're going to that A minor. Alright, now this chord right here is going to the G, but instead of, and what you're doing is consequently doing the exact same G that you were coming from here. Remember we was in C and went to this G, but on this part where it says was blind, that's the A minor, but now, and all you're doing is just lifting your hand up and coming up a whole step. This comes over a whole step, this finger comes over a whole step, but this finger comes over 1/2 step, okay? So that's the from the A minor to the G is all white notes. But now I see Okay, goes back to the C chord. Okay, and let's talk a little bit about the scale and why it is what it is, why it has to do with the amount of space that it does. Now, why is it like this? Is a C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and goes back to the C. Reason why that's played in all white keys is not just because it's just white keys and all songs are played in C. You got 12 different keys. You got C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then you got the C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, G sharp, and the A sharp. So you got 12 different keys. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 keys on the keyboard, but it just repeats itself over and over and over and on up like that. Okay. Now, when you play in a scale, the C scale is like all white notes. Okay, that kind of constructs you to play songs like you do, like they're going through the C to the F, which is 1, 4, C to the 5, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, G, 6 is A, B is 7, and so on and so on. But here's why a scale is what it is, because from one step to the next step, okay, there are halves that you're counting, as well as going from the black notes to the white notes. So C scale just so happens to be all white notes. Now this is the only scale that has all white notes. Now if you're in C, what you're doing is going from the C to the D, but because what you're doing, you're skipping one and you're going to the next one. So what you're doing is consequently going a half, another half, which is one whole step. So what you're doing is C to the D is a whole step, and you're coming from here, skipping one, and go another step, which is a whole step. Okay, so all these are half steps from one to the next, from the black to white in sequence. But when you're going from the C to the D, that's a whole step, and from here to the E, that's a whole step. But this is something that you need to notice. From the E to the F, there's just a half step. There's no black note between these like there are other notes. So what you're doing is consequently got 1, 2, 3 whole steps, but it's half step here. So in the scale, that's how it is a whole step, one half step, okay, another whole step, another whole step, another whole step, and a half step again. This is the B note and this is the C note. So if you look between the E and the F and to the B and the C, there's only half steps. There are no black notes between these right here. So in the scale is like this, and if you play this scale like this, kind of just bring your thumb, your index and your middle, and then bring your thumb over, hit the F, then the G with your index, A with your middle, okay, and then the B with your ring, and then the C with your pinky back over. So that's a C scale because you got the whole step, half step, whole step, another half step. So this is why scales are what it is. Now whatever note you play on the keyboard, okay, whatever note you touch, that scale, the same rule apply in all the notes. If, like, for example, this right here is a G. If you play in the G scale, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now black note, and then go to G. It is not all white notes just because C scale are all white notes. Okay, so this is a G. It's almost all white notes except this black note right here. It's like this. Okay, it is not like this. Hear that? So that didn't sound right. It is. Now why is that? Because you got to think about the counting. From here, there's a whole step, half step, whole whole step, and from here to here is a whole step, because you got the half step, you got the whole step, then back to the G again. Okay, so we'll continue. We'll close this one up, and we go to the next one later, and just kind of remember that, and the scales, and remember why the scales are what they are. There's the half steps, the whole steps, into the half, whole, half, and that applies in all keys. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.